Hi Internet! Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about game journalism and why it basically shouldn't exist. Because as it stands right now, it's just, well, you're better off actually going and seeing someone play a video game on Twitch rather than reading a review on it. Video game journalism right now is full of cliches, or what I like to call their capital sins, which are basically things that they do all the time that they shouldn't be doing. I've decided to narrow down the list to just 3 of them because, well, I like 3. It's a nice number. I mean, yeah, what's the issue? Top 3, the podium. The first thing that video game journalists do all the time, and that it's honestly just plain dumb, is comparing every video game to Dark Souls. If you like to read video game reviews, you're probably rolling your eyes right now because yes, you know that this happens all the time. So every time a new game comes out, every time a new game comes out, game journalists compare the game to Dark Souls. Now, Dark Souls is a hack and slash RPG with a very high difficulty and tight controls. However, Dark Souls, right now, as it stands, it's only being used as a synonym for difficulty. It doesn't matter which kind of game it is, the game will always be compared to Dark Souls. For example, is Crash Bandicoot the Dark Souls of platformers? What? Is Mario Kart the Dark Souls of racing games? What? Star Force Jedi The Fallen Order the Dark Souls of the Force? What? Everything can be compared to Dark Souls if you just stretch it enough. But you know, just because you can't do something doesn't mean you should. And to be honest, it's such a dumb comparison that if you would use it in any other place in real life, well, basically you would look like an idiot. For example, imagine you have a friend and your friend comes and tells you, I don't know, that he's having trouble at math. And you're like, so is math the Dark Souls of your academic life? Your friend will look at you as if you were an idiot and will probably slap you, and your friend would be right to do so. The worst part of this comparing everything to Dark Souls is that video game journalists are aware that people are already tired of this. So nowadays, they start their articles with, I know you're tired of the comparison, but hear me out. No, you hear me out. If you know this, and you know that everybody hates it, then why do you keep doing it? The second sin is something that is either caused by a complete lack of memory or by, you know, the total ignorance of the world of video games. And I don't know which one is worse, honestly. Every time a new video game comes out and there's a female protagonist in it, then game journalists will say that this is the first game to do away with the damsel in distress. And this is when I look at the camera and I wonder what the hell is the world coming to. For those of you that do not play video games, let me tell you that the first game to do this was probably Metroid back in 1986, where we had Samus, who was a female, destroying aliens. And then we had Lara Croft, you know, from that popular saga, Tomb Raider had movies with Angelina Jolie, and then it had a reboot and whatnot. And then we have, I don't know, Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil games. And more recently we had Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn or Bayonetta. There will always be someone saying that this is the first game to do this. And then you will go to that person and you will say, have you never ever played a video game before this point in time? Recently, The Last of Us 2 came out, and there's, you know, the protagonist is a girl, Ellie, and she's also a lesbian. Many articles for the game say that not only it does away with the damsel in distress, but it also paves the way for inclusion in games.
Well, this is a lie.
It's not the first time that this has been done. Life is Strange was a video game that came out some years ago, and the protagonist was bisexual. And Assassin's Creed had a homosexual protagonist, so the same as Borderlands, the pre-sequel. And basically in every RPG where you have romancing options, or maybe not all of them, but many of them, allow you to romance whoever the hell you want. So Inclusiveness in games has been going on for a long time. This is not the first game to do so, and it will not be the last either. But it will be The Last of Us. Hey, bad pun! Okay, sorry. The third sin for video game journalism is the game is bad because I'm bad at the game. I just don't know how to tackle this, you know? Well, one of the examples that hit closer to home was when Devil May Cry 5 came out some time ago. You notice that I say some time ago a lot. It's because I actually don't remember release dates. Deal with it. It had this very cool feature where the better your combos were and the higher your score, you would hear the music going from, well, no music to louder and then to the encore.
It was amazing.
And game journalists couldn't make the music go louder because they just couldn't land any combo. So many of them wrote reviews where they said that the game was lacking was lacking battle themes. And obviously the gaming community was very quick to point out that the game does not lack battle themes. What they lack is skill. How is that the game's fault? Imagine that you're watching one of those cook shows on the internet, and let's say that the person burns whatever they're cooking, and then they just go, you know what, I burned this, it was the recipe's fault that I burned this, so the recipe is bad, and therefore the food is bad too. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Another example of this was when, back when Mass Effect 1 came out, one game journalist just skipped the tutorials and then gave the game a negative review simply because the game did not explain to him the menus. Well, the game tried to, but the guy decided to skip it, so... There's a game out there called Monster Hunter, and one person said that the game is bad because in the game, you hunt monsters. And when you read things like that, you just stand there. And what did you expect from the game? It's called Monster Hunter. What did you expect? I mean, did you expect to go on a dating sim? Now, one can only imagine how these people get hired into a company. It's like, hey, do you know video games? And the person is just, yeah, I know a lot of video games. Oh yeah? Which video games you know? Tell me something about video games. Nintendo, PlayStation, Halo, Doom. Oh yes, you definitely know a lot about video games. You're hired. That's probably how their interviews go, because otherwise I don't see how they make it, into the gaming journalism scene. I'm sorry for ranting too long. No, I'm actually not sorry. But if you like the video and you would like to see more of this speaking from ignorance kind of segments, then leave us a like, subscribe, and obviously leave your suggestions in the comments. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.